Phishing is using email to get money, to get passwords, to get usernames, to get stuff like this. This is an email that Angela got the other day. She's at a trade show in Chicago. She got an email from me saying, I need to know you're available. I need to borrow $5,900 from you. All right, Angela did what anybody would normally do and called her husband and said, do we have that kind of money? Thank you, Angela. The problem is, even though it says it came from me and even had my little picture here, it did not come from me. And when you hit reply on it, you would notice that the reply address didn't go to me. But the fact is, this is a very convincing email. The fact that it also has my picture on it, which is really not coming from the email, it's coming from her own email client, which recognizes my name. So, what would you do if you got an email like this from somebody you know, somebody, a family member, saying, can you please send me some money?
That's the craziest thing, though, that it's specific, because I feel like you get them all the time, but they don't have a personal name or someone that you know or like a friend,
That's from a recent hack that happened about a week ago, and I'll talk about that in a minute. The fact is, phishing or hacking is a $500 million a year industry. That's what these guys make. There are places, there are venture capital firms out in other countries that hire the best programmers to create these programs and these hacking and phishing emails. This is a big industry backed by huge venture capitalists. People are earning hundreds of thousands of dollars a year from legitimate jobs in other countries doing this kind of stuff. 1 in 130 emails is a hacking or phishing email. How many emails do you get a day?
About that much.
Yeah, exactly. So just be aware that one of them typically is one of those. The number one thing to watch out for is email attachments, and we're going to talk about that in a minute. Fake invoices are very big.
I get those all the time. All the time, here and on my personal.
Yeah. This is one that came in the other day. Actually, this email came in to Kathy, and it said that there's a copyright violation on Facebook, which happens all the time. We post a picture that somebody says that's my picture. Kathy sent it to Michaela. Michaela gets an email from Kathy saying, check this out. So what does she do? She clicks on it and checks it out. This is from the IRS. All right, very popular one. The IRS is going to take your house, and and what they're asking you to do is click here to get started. All right, resolving this with the IRS. UPS, you've got a package on the way. All right, click here to see what the package is. This was another interesting one, a $100 Amazon gift card.
I get that all the time.
This is from Amazon.
Is it?
This is real.
Oh, I don't believe it.
And if you click there, you'll go to the Amazon Prime site. So the point is that the real ones don't look any different from the fake ones. This is another one, came in yesterday, and I just put it in here because it came in yesterday. It's an ad from SurveyMonkey, because I recently, so you click there and you go to a website. Now, when you click one of these things, you will go to a website. If you're smart, first thing you'll do is you'll look in the address bar to see what website you're on. If you go to a website called, I'm going to rip you off.com, then you have a problem. The problem here is this address bar can lie. One of the common ways they're doing this now, the Russian language has a lot of characters that are the same as the English language. For example, using Russian characters, you can spell out the word PayPal. It's actually this word, but it looks to you, because it's in Russian, it looks exactly like PayPal. So you could be on www.apple.com or what looks like apple.com. Problem is that's not an L. Looks like an L, looks exactly like an L, but it's not. It's a Russian character. You can even get the little green bar, although they're working on stopping that. So anyway, here's an email I got the other day. Activate my new card today. Wonderful. I click there, like it says to do, to activate my card. and I go to this website. Anybody with TD Bank? This is the TD Bank website. Great, no problem. It's asking you, it always asks for my username and password. Now, if I was looking real carefully, I might notice that up here on the address bar, instead of saying tdbank.com, it says tdbank.nl. So there might be a clue like that this isn't really the TD Bank. Or there might not. We just learned that the Russian character thing could make you at what looks like tdbank.com. So what do? You enter your username and password. Okay, fine. Problem is, you've just given your username and password to some guy in the Netherlands. Now, they're so smart and so sophisticated. What do? Is they put up this message. No matter what you type in, whoop, you typed in the wrong password. And they send you to the real TD Bank site. So now, you're at the real TD Bank site. You're going to re-enter, how often do we screw up our passwords? You're going to re-enter your password here in the real TD Bank site. You're going to go into your real account. But you've given your username and password to some guy in the Netherlands. That's how tricky these guys can be and how careful we all need to be. You can get it on your phone. Get a text message. $100 coupon at Walmart. Click here, enter your username and password. Are you really at the Walmart site? So here's the first rule, and the most important rule, is that when you get an email with a link in it, no matter who the email is from, no matter what it says to do, go to that website directly. Open up your browser, type in tdbank.com, and start there. If you do that, and TD Bank did indeed send you a message, it'll be in their messages. But there really is never a need to click a link in an email. There are some exceptions. We'll all make exceptions for emails that we were expecting. You know, if I call you and say I'm sending you a link to this, great, it's probably me. This is another very popular a very popular scamming thing that's coming up constantly. You go to a website, maybe you've mistyped the name, or maybe the website has been hacked, and you get this big message saying you've got a virus. Sometimes it makes this screeching loud noise. Ah! All right? You can't get rid of it. You can't close down the browser. If you click on that, it doesn't go away. It says call this number. A lot of people's parents are getting hit with this. You call the number, you get a Microsoft support technician, and he then proceeds to tell you, okay, just type this in the address bar, and he gets access to your computer, and he's controlling your computer and has all of your information. The problem is this won't go away. There is a technical way to go away, and I'll be sending this presentation to everybody. The technical way to make it go away is to right-click on the taskbar, click Task Manager, and End Task. If you're uncomfortable doing that, you don't know how to do it, you just call IT. Worst comes to worst, you just shut off your computer. You haven't gotten a virus when you're on this page. You are not infected. There is no malware on it. You just are at a website. You can't close the browser. And you're being asked to call somebody who is dubious. They also call you. I get phone calls every now and then saying, this is Microsoft.
It's so annoying.
Your passwords. They've done huge analyses of some of the password hacks that we've seen. And so they look at millions and millions of passwords, and what they find out is, for the most part, they're the same. Chances are, your password is not, you're not the only one using it. How complex is it? How is it 2 words and a number, 2 common words and a number? When somebody is trying to guess your password, you'd think, okay, it's going to take them a lot of tries to get this one. This one's really weird. They have software that can guess 300,000 passwords per second. So yeah, if your password is 1 in a million, it's going to take them 4 seconds to guess it. So passwords need to be complex. Not every password. I log on to the local Chamber of Commerce forum, and I use my simple password. I use a password like, well, phone smile. All right, somebody hacks that. All right, they get into the Chamber of Commerce forum. Not so bad. My bank, on the other hand, is not nearly as simple. We also have Kaspersky antivirus here, which means a lot of times when we're going to a website, we'll see this little box come up and it'll say disconnect or continue. This is important. What's happening is this program is detecting something on this website which isn't quite right. Now, 99% of the time, what it's detecting is a small ad thing or an ad banner or a tracking cookie, like Facebook saying if you went to this site, or Google, stuff like this. So when you hit disconnect, which is what you need to do, that little ad won't appear. It's not a problem. It doesn't mean the website is infected. It just means there's something suspicious on that website, and by clicking disconnect, you're just disconnecting that suspicious thing. So when you see this, click disconnect. If the site closes, or if the site doesn't work, I click disconnect on one of them, and then I couldn't enter my email address because every time I tried to pop it up, it would come up. Then just call IT, and we'll take care of that. But typically when you see this message, just disconnect. This is a website that I want to highly promote. It's called I Have Been Pawned. And actually that's owned with a P. This is a website which constantly monitors all of the password hacks. Now, if somebody hacks my password, 500,000 passwords, they post this online. These people watch it, and they watch for my email address. And if my email address appears in a hack that has been discovered, then it sends me an email. So I got an email the other day saying I have been pawned, that the big Better Business Bureau hack that happened about a week or two ago included my email address and password. Now my password was the easy password. My banking hasn't been hacked, but it was that hack that gave them my name to use in Angela's email. What that means is once an email address password combination has been posted online, I need to go everywhere where I've used that same combination. Yeah, on all the forums I use, that password has been hacked. What that means is if somebody buys this password hack, if some hacker buys this, they'll try all my banks, they'll try all the common banks with the username, password, stuff like this. They probably don't care about the forums. So it's not a real big deal. This presentation will be made available to everybody if you want to sign up for this. I highly recommend that everybody sign up for this. All right, number one, do not click on links in emails. You will make exceptions, and there are legitimate exceptions when you know I'm sending you something and you're expecting it. There will be times you'll click on links in email and just do so a little suspiciously. Is this really where I expect it to go? Is it asking me for my name and password? Now, one of the things that you can do, which is very interesting, I'll go back to my banking example here. So remember I said this is not the TD Bank. This is some hacker in the Netherlands. When I enter my username and password, they're going to record that and then send me to my real bank, TD Bank. One of the things that I'll sometimes do if I'm a little suspicious is enter the wrong password. If you're on a hacker's site and you enter the username and wrong password, then they're not going to know it's the wrong password. So they may let you in to whatever you think you're getting into or whatnot. If you click on a link on your cell phone or something and you go to what you think is PayPal and it says enter your username and password, enter the wrong password. If it knows it's a wrong password, then you're probably okay, because it's probably really PayPal. Attachments from known sources. Even if it's a known source, be careful. Attachments contain viruses. If somebody sends you an attachment that you don't expect, that you don't think is really from them, email them back. Did you send me an attachment? I know we get attachments all the time here. We get pictures, we get files, we get documents. We have the virus protection that should protect us in most cases, but we still need to be careful. And those of you who get a lot of attachments, Nancy, I think we may need to do, there's a way to look at the attachment, look at the file name, stuff like that, things like that to be suspicious of. But, when you get an email from an existing customer who sends you a picture, okay, fine. You get an email from me saying, here's a document you need. Oh, Angela did. If you're not expecting it, just email me back. She sent me something. At home, keep your antivirus and Windows or Mac updates current. Every Tuesday night, Microsoft updates Windows. Make sure your computer is left on for that. Use complex passwords and change them frequently. Can't stress this enough. Your password is probably guessable. If it's 2 common words and a number in the middle, hey, 300,000 tries a second, they can try every word in the dictionary twice. Roboform. In many of the computers here, we've installed a program called Roboform. It's a password manager. Being a geek, I have thousands of websites I go to, and different passwords for each one, because I'm careful about that. I could never remember them. Roboform remembers them for me. So my suggestion is, learn how to use Roboform. Maybe we'll have a separate class on it, or maybe you can just learn how to use it, or use the help files. If you don't use Roboform at home, whatever password, Mac has Keychain. But to have a password manager has a number of very good positive impacts. It'll detect what site you're on. If you really are on PayPal Russia, it'll know the difference. And
Couldn't they hack into that though?
You got all your passwords on Roboform. Boy, that would
Yeah,
be
so
really
your
be
Roboform master password needs to be very complex. Just password rules here. Make it complex, change it.
Not from Smile.
yeah. Will Roboform get hacked? Well, I'd like to say no. Dropbox got hacked a couple of years ago. When it does, it gets discovered pretty quickly. And if Roboform I found out was hacked, I would go through my Roboform and change every password. I hate to do it, but it has to be done. And yes, the Roboform file itself is protected with a password. Make sure that password is good. Complex and changed. Any questions, any comments about this? You feel a little better prepared?
definitely.
Ask questions. Don't worry about bugging IT with these questions. They're critical. There are companies like ours who have been shut down by viruses and Trojans. Something called WannaCry hit recently. And WannaCry would shut down your entire computer, and the only way to get in was to send somebody $500. We do everything we can to protect ourselves with our virus protection and our network process principles. But you're the key. Don't give out the passwords. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.